In this lecture we're going to look at adding annotations to our viewports. If your viewports have these red borders to them, then you can select them individually with your selection tool and you can update them. You can also use View on the menu bar and choose Update All Viewports. Now my annotations need to be moved. You can see this one's okay, but I like all of my drawing labels to be aligned to the left side of my viewport. So right click, Edit Annotations, I can grab hold of that, touch part of the bracket that's already there, and then line up and let go. This viewport over here, let's right click on that one, let's edit the annotations. Now this one needs to line up here, but it also wants to line up with that one over there. So I can use my smart cursor to line those up. And that should be drawing number 3, not number 2, and that should be a side view. Okay, so I've now got my labels lining up. Let's put some dimensions in. Right click, Edit Annotations. I need a line from this corner here going out horizontally. I need another line from here going up at 30 degrees. Let's go back to our tool for connecting and combining. That line and that line. Just select both of those. I'd also like to see my attributes palette, because I'd like those two lines to be a line type. I'd like them to be some form of dash. That looks better. Now I can put some dimensions on. And I might zoom in to do that. I've just used my mouse wheel to zoom in. Dims and Notes tool set. Let's put some dimensions on, so I have a dimension starting from there to there. Click. And click again. Let's just have a look. Yes, I thought I was using the chain mode. I didn't really want that. So click there. Now you might find it's hard to find the center of that circle. So what about going to the midpoint there, and then the midpoint, 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 and then here double click to finish. Don't forget we can use our Unconstrained linear dimension tool, and that'll create a dimension from this point down to there. Click. We've got our angle. Now in this case it might pay us to actually draw a line from there to there, because this object is a 3D object and it will not understand the edge of that line when we try to use our angular dimension tool. So let's start here, come out there, click, come all the way down to there, then click on that line, and that looks better. You might find these work. You might find that if you've created it correctly, they work just fine. You might find that sometimes they don't work. I'm just going to go out to the left on that one. That's a radius. Maybe that would be better as a diameter. And we need some dimensions down here as well. So back to our dimension tool. Down from there to there. And let's just change back to the first mode and double click. We can select our drawing label, we can make changes to its size, we can choose its text style. If we had some text styles already in this file, we could choose those. That would control the font, but it won't control the size because the size is controlled by this object info palette. Exit that. We can now add the same types of annotations to this one. So right click, Edit Annotations. We want to use our dimension tool. Click there, and I find it's quite nice to touch that point and click up there so that your dimensions line up. Exit the Viewport Annotations. So that has most of the dimensions we need. Now we can put our sheet border on. So I've got my sheet border tool, double click. I'm going to choose a simple title block. OK, and OK again. Now it's quite a large title block for the size paper, so the first thing I'm going to do is to change my border settings. And I'm going to make those 0.01. And it's probably easier if I select all that and then use my Control C, which is a shortcut for copy, paste, tab, paste, Tab, paste, and enter. So now I've got a very thin border going around it, which means that when I go down here and I say hide border, my title block is very close to the edge. For this sort of drawing, maybe the title block scale factor could be a little bit smaller, maybe a 0.8. And you'll notice I still need to move these viewports. So select them both and use your shift and your nudge key, and then you can just nudge those up, nudge them down, just get them into the location that you want.